bolster, blanket, all the props, maybe a pillow, books, whatever. I'm sitting on the blanket right now. The first pose that we're going to start in is called butterfly pose. So I'm going to do a sideways view for you so that you can see how I set up. I will be timing each pose, so or even when we just do one side at a time, that's why you'll see headphones on from me. So soles of feet together, knees wide. You want your pelvis to tilt forward, which means I may have to stack some blocks to make that, or blankets to make that happen, or just like basically bring the floor to you. What I don't want to see in this pose is a round of the back. So some way that you can sit tall. You also might even sit on a block or a stack of pillows, depending on how tight your hips are and groin area. So soles of feet together. Tall spine. I'm going to grab blocks to support underneath my knees, because as we sit here, big sensations will start happening, and props really allow the body to be supported and allow me at least to go a little bit deeper into these yin poses. And then you'll take a bolster or a pillow and just rest your head on it. You can let the hands fall here. You can hug your bolster. You could even bring the bolster in toward the chest and rest your chin. And so just make any movements you need. Remember, we want the pelvis tilting forward so the pubic bone is driving down toward your mat. Sits bones level and heavy. Use props as you need to make that happen. Bring the floor to you. And then once you find that, settle in, close your eyes. You can keep the lights low. And we will be here for 3 minutes on this one. Not a lot of talking from me once we get going. Just want you to go inside and notice how your body is doing. And then let's try to make the breath smooth and steady. See if you can let the sits bones be heavier. Relax your face and jaw. And let the knees open, the groin soften. If you need to adjust, like maybe as you start opening, you might bring the blocks down a little bit lower. Just do that mindfully, slowly. You can even keep your eyes closed if you know where everything is. As your mind wanders, bring your focus back to the breath. See if you feel your energy stuck anywhere, like not flowing through the body. Visualize sending your breath there, regulating energy. Maybe something feels stuck. As sensation increases, keep your breath going. We're almost there. Pain is not okay, numbness and tingling is not okay, so back out if that's happening for you. Two more full rounds of breath. Inhale big. Exhale slow. Good. Lift your forehead. Take the bolster, just put it in front of you. Take your hands outside your knees, bring the knees together. And then take the blocks here at the top of your mat. We're going to come into dragon pose. So good for the hips. So I'm going to take my knee on a blanket for support because we will be here for 3 minutes on each side. And then front knee is at 90. You can slide your back knee back as much as you feel your body will allow without, pain or overdoing it. You don't want to be on the top of your kneecap in the back. You want to be at the bottom of your thigh. You can keep your toes untucked or tucked. Draw your left hip back, hands to blocks. Slowly lower your hips down and draw the bottom of your sacrum down toward your mat a little bit. Chest is bright. Gaze straight ahead. If you have the space, your fingertips are down on the mat. Opening up the front of the right hip. Slow, steady breath. Relax your jaw. Big sensations here, at least for me, on the front of that right hip. And see if you can breathe into it to find an opening there. You can also make fists with your hands, blocks. Notice if you're starting to compromise other areas of your body to not feel the sensation in the front of the right hip. Continue to lower the hips. Let gravity take you lower. Front knees at 90. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Keep your heart open. Gaze straight forward. You've got 5 more rounds of breath. You can do it. You may feel yourself building heat, so that's a good thing. This is hard work. Inhale, breath. Let's do lion. Stick out your tongue. Good. Slowly make your way out of this. Maybe straighten the front knee a bit and then slide the left knee back. We have another side. Right foot forward. Notice the work you might feel already. Oh, slide the left knee back. Front knee at 90. Use the blocks. Bring the floor to you. Collarbones square to the front. Gaze to the front or close the eyes. And I'll start the time. Settle in. Stay in your body. Notice where your mind goes when things get tough. Can you continue your breath? So we have lots of ways we can check out. We can grab a drink. We can smoke some weed. We can take a pill. I mean, these are all things I've done and still do at times. But when I practice, I come to my mat clean, meaning sober, to really feel what's going on in my body, knowing that I can choose to check out at any time, but I'm certainly not going to check out in my practice. This is where I want to be completely whole. You can draw your tailbone down a bit. Keep letting yourself deepen the stretch with your breath. 5 more rounds of breath. Good. Inhale. Lion. Stick out your tongue. Awesome work. Slowly come out of it. Okay. Take the blocks up at the top. I'm going to move my blanket off the side just for a moment. Come to hands and knees. Wiggle a little side to side. And then take your left knee and put it right up against your right, so there's no space between your knees. And then take your right knee, right shin, and cross it behind your left. So it's like your knees line up, your feet walk out to the sides. And then slowly start to come back to a seat. So your knees could be like super high coming up, like way high, which means you might want a block underneath your booty. And this could feel really nice, like nourishing. You can walk your feet out a little bit, as much as your body will allow. So you might be here. This is perfect. You might want to increase sensation, but not into a place of pain by taking your blanket and putting that underneath your sits bones. Good. And then right hand, right knee, left hand, right hand, top knee, that's the left. Left hand, bottom knee. And then press the knees into the midline so you can kind of stack them more. You can take your 2 fingers and lift up through the inner heel. Good. So find something that feels comfortable right now. You can have the hand stack on the knees. We're going to get in a stretch here into the outer hip area. So if this feels really intense, bring more height underneath your seat. If it feels unbearable, I want you to keep the top leg where it's at, scooch off to the right hip, and slide your right leg long. Stack the knees, and you'll be here. All right, a couple minutes. Tall spine. So the misalignment would be rounding the back and the tailbone scooting under. We want pubic bone down and pelvis tilting forward. Low back is in and lifts up. Close your eyes, settle in. Smooth, steady breath. If you notice you go off into la la land, totally normal. Just bring your attention back to your breath. If keeping your eyes open or just gaze soft helps do that, that's fine. Otherwise, eyes closed is also great. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Good. Hands go forward and uncross. So you're back into tabletop. This time right knee goes right next to left. Left knee crosses up and over. Knees line up, feet out to the side, and then slowly make your way back. Adjust any props, make any modifications I suggested. Maybe the bottom leg goes straight. Come to stillness as quickly as you can. And breathe. Maybe try to lengthen your inhales and exhales at this point. And make your exhale a couple beats longer than the inhale. So perhaps an inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And an exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then inhale for 5. A couple more rounds of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So come off, come back up tabletop. Maybe just take a round or two of cat-cow. Good. And then slide your left knee forward toward your left wrist. We'll set for sleeping swan, which is also known as pigeon. So left knee toward the left long edge of your mat. Right leg slides back in the middle of your hips. You can keep your toes tucked if you like. If you untuck your toes, just make sure you're not sickling out the foot. So you want to keep the heel lifted versus kind of rolling off to the right. If you feel like you might sink down onto the left hip, that's not going to help you here. That's not why we're going to do this pose. So you want to keep the left hip elevated. If you want support to make that happen, you'll slide a block or a blanket underneath that left side. And then you'll come down. And now based on your flexibility here, you might stay upright. You could have even hands on a block if you need more. You could bring your forearms down to a block, or you'll come down to your forearms and have your palms be together. Take the gaze forward. Slide the right knee back. Remember not to be on the kneecap. Soften the shoulder blades, soften your jaw, soften your gaze. A few more rounds of breath. Inhale, breath. Exhale, release. Good. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders. You're just going to step back. You can take a down dog here if that might feel good. Slide your props to the right. Right knee toward right wrist. Slide your left leg back. Prop up your right hip. And then you know your choices. Settle in as quickly as you can. Don't sink down into the right hip. Keep your right hip lifted. Relax your face and jaw. Stay in your breath. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that going. Check in, see if there's any energy that feels stuck in your body. Send the breath there. Try to get energy and breath flowing from the crown of your head all the way out the toes. Sending the breath to all the little dark corners in the body that maybe get forgotten. 3 more rounds of breath. Good. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Good. Walk your hands up. Maybe come through your down dog or tabletop. Walk your feet forward. Come down to a seat. And come down to your back. Draw the knees in, rock a little side to side. And then just for a minute, take your left foot down and cross your right heel over. Have your sits bones roll forward so that you can see your little hand or slide your arm underneath the low back. And this may feel different if you've never done that little tweak and you're like, okay, I'm good. If you have more space, you're still keeping those sits bones rolling forward. This is, we want to keep that alignment in the low back. And then start to play with drawing the shape toward you if you can keep the space between the low back and your mat. Rock a little side to side. Good. Then left foot comes down, right foot comes down. Switch. Left ankle over, right knee. Sits bones roll forward. And maybe try to draw the shape. I'm still nice and tight, even after yin, but I do feel way more opened up on the front side of the hips. I just still have a lot of tightness here in the outer hip IT-band area. And that might be the same for you. We just got to work at it. Grab where you can. Rock a little side to side. And I'm going to give you some options here to end your practice. So bring both feet down. Depending on what time of day or just how you're feeling, this is morning for me, so I'm going to end in more of a heart opener. Legs up the wall or hips on a block with legs up is a great inversion for the end of the evening for sleep, or if you're just kind of super overwhelmed and anxious. Or you might end in a hip opener, which is like what we began. This is more supine, meaning laying down, feet, soles of feet together, knees wide, and then you might prop blocks underneath the knees. So this is kind of how we started our practice, just sitting up. If you want a little chest opener, I'm just going to take this blanket, skinny, roll it up. You can also use a bolster, of course. I'm going to take it underneath the shoulder blades so that it's coming out underneath the armpits. And then you can even take the arms up overhead. You want a deeper back bend or heart opener, you can have blocks, your bolster. Just ending your practice however you wish. Notice how you feel now compared to when you started. Notice if you still feel like you might have energy, kind of stuck somewhere in your body. Keep your breath alive. You can take your head side to side in case any tension kind of creeped up in the neck. Open your mouth super wide. And let it soften. And then just rest. Take time to reflect. Take time to just be. Stay as long as you like. Namaste, friends.